How's it going tonight, Lord Scarin? Had to redo a couple of things in OBS and thought I had everything set and found out a couple of things weren't yet. Oh, that wasn't too much longer. That was only a couple minutes past the timer. Run through my checklist really quick to make sure I didn't miss anything. Making sure I didn't fall asleep. Well, I appreciate that. All right. So the game has lots of excitement today once again. We have, what, 3 different mining events? 4 different mining events? So there's definitely an opportunity to have fallen asleep. I did my upgrades on my Serene Squall and did a couple of research items that I had saved up. Scotty's Engineering, we're in mining today that took little to no time to actually take care of. Hey Retro, how's it going tonight? Can't mine Transogen fast enough. I believe it. I had 4 ships preloaded at the beginning. It was a good jump. I mean, we could tell by the ALB, like, we're normally like 6th and stuff like this, and you know, like, we're way behind. Way behind. But you know, like, we're also lighter spend alliance, so it's kind of like where that line starts and stops, I guess. I don't know how many people that in the alliance actually have the Serene Squall. I don't know if it's over half a dozen. But I mean, what is it? Yeah, it's the 1-day event here. I don't know if they specified like each and every single day what the event was gonna be, but I don't think we're gonna have 5 days of mining. I hope. There's 2 days there. Yeah, it's been a very interesting time. Luckily we kind of get some of the normal weekly events to fall back on, so like I can do some Q's trials today. I know, like, the system that I was in earlier was pretty busy. Like around 6 o'clock tonight. So I know people are out doing the rounds. I'm still kind of surprised with how how slow the building is to get get some get some levels under. Are you getting any access to any of the hazard research yet, where you can at least keep your time spent in the system? $62. I knew that you're getting really close to it. I mean, that'll make a big difference to be able to just walk away. I still think it's pretty rotten how much they're gatekeeping the exocomps. Oh yeah, almost finished. I am not even finished in the galaxy tree. I skipped a lot of that stuff. I shouldn't say I skipped a lot of it. I have a lot of stuff that I can go back to. There was a lot of stuff that I didn't feel was important at the time. Which I have started to go back with, like the spend events we've had over the last couple of months here, like the Ascendant event and stuff. Like going back and doing some of those G5 researches that I passed up have been really useful. Station needs cosmic particles. Yeah, that takes a lot to keep it up. There are a few galaxy researchers that I need to finish, but not many. That's good. I mean, like, I skipped like all of the cloaking ones and stuff. I don't know if I even really count those. But there were some PvP things and some mining things and some ship type things that I wasn't related to in any of the ships that I had. I finally had good RNG and got 6 command badges. Now I only need 4. You did do the cloaking ones? I did like the ones that increase the time, but like some of the other ones I didn't really get to. It's one of those things that I was holding on to, like for when you had like the power spend event. So like today, I don't think I've gotten enough for that. Like today, like something like that would be a good spend for my domination. I've been doing some of my G6 research that takes only common particles. Trying to unlock some stuff further down the tree. Trying to unlock my next hazard resistance training research. Because every time we get into the events that have the material spend as a mechanic, like I don't warrant starting ones that don't require the materials. And my next hazard resistance is over here, so I'm trying to work my way across. Always use ship XP for the domination event, unless it's the token event, of course. Yeah, the ship XP, a lot of times I'll use officer XP. But I'm trying to get those researches done to kind of get some of that stuff out of the way. Because it was like the one time that it's warranted, and then starting to get a few more of the G6 speed up, so I feel like I have a little more wiggle room with them. The Ferengi pass event doesn't even count the officer XP. Really? Does it count the ship XP? It does count the ship XP. Research defense platforms, buildings, and dry docks. That's weird. I could have sworn that when they did it last month that it was counting the officer XP. But I always keep a few ships on hand that are prepped for the scrapyard. Especially now trying to build up some G5 ships. Last time they ran it, it also did not count the officer XP. It doesn't stand out to me as something that was skipped last month for some reason. Well, maybe I was just doing ships and it didn't occur to me. Ooh, that was a big hiccup. Yeah, I think this computer's down for replacement. I've been trying to see if I can get things restructured and worked around, but I still keep on getting hitches, and it's going past. It's not just when I'm streaming; it's anytime I'm in a game. I can see it on my performance stats on my GPU. I might go back one more firmware version on the driver and see if that corrects it, but if that doesn't do it, I'm gonna have to just get ahead of myself and pick up a new PC. Or well, put some upgrade parts into this one, something like that. Had a couple flaky things going on with the motherboard 2 years ago. I lost a couple USB ports due to some static discharges. And I just ended up buying a hub to kind of make it go along and last. Waiting for some of the GPU prices to come down a little bit, which they are now. Things are getting a lot more reasonable. All right, Dr. Tahana shards acquired. That marks that event done. Mining. Upgrading. That's like the only real battle thing that we're doing event-wise. I can do the lower Armadas tomorrow. Another 12. Oh, I thought I didn't see the word tier in there. I thought you just said another 12 jellyfish you're leveling up. Oh, jellyfish would be kind of crazy. Keep a pretty steady source of them. I think I've got one. I might even have one in the scrapper right now, actually. No, I got a Vortivore in there. I think I have one ready. No, I just scrapped one. I had 2 jellyfish. So I just scrapped one last week. Well, Spocks to fly them. Can you do a search by the... They don't have freeform text in the searching. I haven't done a Spock count in a hot minute. Because there's gonna be Instructor Spock, which is 1. And then get S&W Spock. And then Kelvin Spock. EOS Spock. And then Fleet Commander Spock. 5 feels low. Why does 5 feel low? I'm gonna count them. Oh, we've got what, 3 7 of 9s? 4? Do I have the other one unlocked? Specialist 709, the one that came in the pick crew. You must have. That's crazy how some of the duplicates are. And we didn't have one hidden in some other facet. You know what we really need in this game is the Mere TOS crew. Because I really want to have the evil Spock, or the not so evil Spock. All right, is that enough to finish dailies? That is enough to finish dailies. The Mere TNG crew, yeah. I mean, I think it's got to be inevitable unless they had some kind of issues getting permissions for likeness or whatever. But I wouldn't think that that would be an issue since they already have the regular TOS in there. Paramount might have said not yet, we're working on the script. Well, sometimes I wonder if they're working on some kind of like a reboot type of thing, like CGI AI type thing integrated in with like SNW or something like that. Good evening, Zero. How are you doing tonight? Doing fine. How am I? I am not too bad myself. My continued pursuit of my computer issues has made me determine that there's more issues than I thought there was. I downgraded my driver on my graphics card, and that helped a lot. That helped a very lot. Still getting some weird skips. So I moved my OBS onto a different SSD from the game, and I was hoping that was going to help things, but not so much. Well, my computer's almost 6 years old at this point. I'm rocking a 2080 right now, so I've gotten my use out of it. I don't feel bad. It's just a matter of deciding where to go and how how far to go with it. I was thinking about just, like picking up a 30 series card, see if I can get one real cheap or something like that, and just slap it in here and just roll with this for a little bit longer, or just go all out because I've been thinking about buying one for a while, and I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get a new PC before like GTA 6 drops. So, you know, it's like if I'm gonna build something or get something, I'm gonna get it ready for that. Yeah, 2060 with the on the laptop is definitely rough. And I'm very certain that if I go back one more level on my firmware for the GPU, it'll clear up because it was running fine. I only upgraded the GPU driver when I was experiencing internet issues. And so now my internet issues are cleared up, and now I'm having encoding issues. Encoding and rendering issues. The encoding issues are usually aren't too bad. But the rendering has been bad, even just playing the game. So yeah, just trying to decide how much fun I want to go after it. If I want to reuse my case and just slap like a new motherboard and parts into this one, or which way to go with things. I had a iBuyPower I bought off the shelf last time because like I had priced everything out, and it was within like $70 of me actually building the system myself, and I was like, okay, you know, for that little of a price savings, I don't know if it's really worth building it from scratch. And it's kind of the same thing still. It's kind of the same thing. I've been pricing it out, and you know, like I think some of the problem is that I like to just kind of go a little bit better and a little bit better every time that I get into like the parts listings. I'm like, oh, you know, like that's gonna be decent, but this will be just a little bit better. And then, you know, like I keep on one-upping things up one level past what I would normally do, and then all of a sudden, you know, like there's an extra $800 sitting there. It's like, ooh, maybe that's not as realistic. And I was like, maybe I should actually just look at like a build list off of one of those PCs and actually replicate that build list and just stick to that, because if I'm gonna buy that, then that'd be fine. And then I can tweak things from there. Got yours for 1669. Yeah, that's still a pretty good price. Every time we get into these days where there's like just one or two events to do, I am just like, not bad considering the laptop was 1500. Yeah, those are facts. 2020 was a very rough time. All right, so I'm gonna go kill some Romulans then. I'm getting into the same problem at work. I replaced a bunch of laptops in 2020 when people started going home, and kind of was a take whatever you can get situation. So they weren't always spec'd out the best. Like they're adequate, they've been fine, but you know, like those are getting 5.5 years old now too, and they show their age. It's kind of weird. I do. I work for a small company, and I handle the IT side of things with them. Like we have a third party contractor that does some of the work, But as far as like the asset allocations and stuff, I take care of all that. I basically do all the on-prem work. They handle the servers and the backups. Yeah, it might even be deeper problems than the dang GPU because I can hear it skip on the song there a little bit. I mean, I'm monitoring on OBS, so it's probably from the rendering lag, but the good thing is it's easy to diagnose if you ever used um the ingest testing capabilities with Twitch. It's able to be replicated through that really easily. So I could do a lot of offline testing and figure out if anything that I'm doing is actually working or not. Honestly, wish I would have gotten into computer science just knowing the basics and such. Yeah, I mean, mine started as like kind of a curiosity type of thing back in the day. Just something was kind of goofy on the computer at home, and just kind of helped try to figure out what was going on with it, and picking up small parts here and there, doing some like small upgrades, and then like that led into building my first computer, which I mean, I built that when I was 18, and well, I think I was 18 at least. I might have been a little bit younger, but I don't remember for sure. I think it was when I was still in high school. And then I rocked that computer until I bought this one. So I rocked that computer for 15 years. Playing like World of Warcraft and everything. Overclocking of GPUs, it has to do with changing some of the voltages and even like some of the temperature thresholds and stuff like that. I've never really gotten into doing it myself. Some of that happens with the software to a degree, especially if you get like the OC GPUs. because you can actually tune them down to like increase life and stuff out of them. At least in theory, you put less wear and tear on the electronic components. But yeah, it's like everything with electronics is about like cycle counts and timings and voltages and switches going on and off. And if you change some of the voltages, you change the way that things are timed, which can increase the cycle count. So you can get from 4.4 gigahertz of cycles, cycles per minute, up to, like 4.48 or something like that. And there's some additional things that happen with it, but that's mainly based on like the CPU type of stuff. Like I'm not as familiar with the intricacies of all the chip components on the GPU, but there's some really good information out there that gets into very, very high level details about it. But like even like me, I've got an ASRock motherboard, so that's kind of built into that one. Like they have overclocking profiles, so that like it's stuff that's kind of like tested and known to work, so that you can implement one of those profiles and be confident that you're not going to be pushing things too far in a negative way. But the biggest thing is that it can generate additional heat. As it's kind of it's kind of funny too, because like as most of my training is from like oh like 13 years ago, so like the technology has changed so much in that time. Like I've gone back and going through some of the training that's available now, and it's like some of they've had to change how they measure some of the things, because like getting into the gigahertz and terahertz and stuff was kind of weird. So it's kind of like almost like the reset that Copley did with G6 with the Sigma. So they've kind of redone how they name some of the units of measurement with things too, and I haven't got up to speed completely on that yet. You have fans, not liquid cooled. There's benefits to both. I mean, even with liquid cooled, you're gonna have fans, so you're not really, like you're not changing a heck of a lot there. I have liquid on my CPU, and I've had to replace it because the pump went out. You don't really have that type of problem with fans. But the water cooling can be more efficient. Yeah, those everything can get complicated, that's for sure. I haven't decided if I'm gonna go with liquid or air cool on my next one. I mean, I replaced my liquid system with a different liquid system, so it's been It's been working fine. The temperatures on it are really, really, really good. But I was also one of those people that would get like the cheapest, air cooler that I could too, and like you can't really expect amazing performance out of something that you pay like $20 for. The difference in quality from like something that's $20 versus $40 is amazing. It's more than twice the value for sure. But that's generally something you don't have to worry about when you do the pre-builds. I haven't gotten nerdy where I did like any of the custom water loops or anything like that either. That is not beyond my abilities, but just beyond my ambitions. I gotta watch back. I didn't even get a chance to watch back the previous VOD from Sunday, but I'll have to watch these and see how bad it shows up. I am not used to this 9-minute warp yet. Your OBS was tripping last night. Camera was randomly turning off. Sound alerts were playing in the AirPods but not on stream. Changed it, then it would play on stream but not on AirPods. I know. I've got the trans warp on the cube. I probably should have just used that or jumped it back home, but sometimes I feel like I don't need to spend the juice. Yeah. Camera turning off randomly is really weird. Tier 14. That's nice. That makes such a huge difference. Like that's where things get fun with the cube. Minerva can chill in the hangar, yeah. Yeah, the only other time that I brought out my my Negvar was when I was doing like Krenum solos or even like the G6 solos at first. Just anywhere where I needed to have 3 ships. But even a lot of times the Dare Dex was better than the than the Negvar. That was always crazy. I actually built a Minerva for the last spend event here. Use it for the solo waves. That's actually kind of surprising in a way, I guess. But I guess there could be some extra... There's some extra piercing and stuff there, I think, maybe. Yeah, I'm using the Kaskari, the GS31, and the Cube, which works out really well because then it's a Explorer, an Interceptor, and a Battleship, so I can really keep to the triangle. All right, I'm gonna do a run up in Augment Exile space quick. Cube Minerva GS31. Yeah. Yeah, before I got the GS31 and the Kaskari, you know, I was basically running Cube, Negvar, and Daredeks. So I had 3 battleships in there, and it could get rough sometimes. Especially trying to go after the elites. Had to run some kind of solo snipe for the first time in months. Went from hitting 62 to 66s. And that makes a big difference in your haul back to base. It makes a big difference when you move up. I tier 9 my Kaskari last month, and yeah, I was able to finally get into the big system there. I think that's 68. And that was huge. The 66 system was doing fine, but that 68 system's got me set. I don't even know if my relativity is big enough to go into there yet. I don't think it can't get there with warp range, but I don't even know if it's big enough for effectiveness either. Yeah, warp range is always a lot of the limiting factor. I mean, my relativity is still really low. You're 6. It'll eventually get useful here, but not quite yet. Yeah, I know it does get huge. It gets huge quick too. Because even at this level, like I can get it doubled pretty fast. Like it'll be double on the next tier up. Yeah, it was one at 22 billion. I don't know where our top guy's at. A lot of our top players are in West Coast, and they play a little bit later than me a lot of times, and I don't get an opportunity to jump into a lot of the big random formations. He's not even our top guy, but I haven't seen all the 70s in our alliance. Sometimes that's kind of scary when you realize that there's, you know, it's just the tip of the iceberg, basically. Like, I'm finally just getting my Revenant up to a spot where I can kind of be useful. A little bit more than just a meat shield. You rejoined the top alliance in our server. I've visited. I've never been like an actual like member of any of the top servers or any of the top alliances, other than like the top 3. I haven't been in like the top 2 other than for visits. Like 9th in the world. That's pretty huge. I haven't seen where our big dogs are sitting before. '48th? That's actually surprising. I guess we're kind of distributed pretty broadly across like the top 4 alliances. Like, we've got a lot of 70s on our server. I remember alliance names from my time there. That was back in 2019, 2020 though. Well, Dark was one of the alliances. They would have still been one of them. Back then, you were like there was like Meld and Cube that I'm in is one of the ones that would have been around. If I went up to 7, 63. 62 would increase my Transogen refinery pools. I think it's entirely dependent on. I shouldn't say entirely dependent. I think it's mainly dependent on ship or on the building level. It says boost with the forge, and then the other ones are based on the serene squalls. Oh, the amount you need to mine, yeah. $61 to $62, you might not see a significant change. Or 62 to 63 or whatever. Because from 60 to 61, they made you pay the entrance fee to play in G6 land. The other kind of whale tax. Let's see, back in that day, that would have been around the time. So this No Strings Attached was Nona. That was around the time Nona was formed. MCRN was present. But they were MRFM, Men Are From Mars, at that time. Most was present. They were most logical, and then they had a sister alliance of most illogical. I think Dread's been there since the beginning. Diesel's been there for a very long time. This doesn't even make sense. 104 people, level 60 alliance, and it's ranked 21st. I do remember when this formed, actually. Can't believe it's only 21st. There's like 5 level 70s in here. 6, 7, 8. 8 level 70s and the 21st on the server. Tier 6 is definitely the sweet spot. Tier 5 is the sweet spot. That gets you to that'd be the third mining system. Second mining system. You can get to the second mining system inside of the faction space that way. Yeah, a lot of the names have changed. They're not what they were. Almost all the names. I think Dark. Dark, Rogue, and Dread are the ones that I think of that haven't changed. Like, all the alliances have origins back to the old days. I mean, if you were here, I don't know if Dirt's still hanging around. I know it's been resurrected a couple of times here and there, but looks like that's still hanging. Yeah, that was... They were definitely stacked all the way up until last fall. Might have been the fall before that, like, or spring before that, like spring of 24. They kind of had a mild blow up. They kind of scattered a bunch of the people around. But it's never been like super stacked. Like, they had like 4 of the biggest spenders, 4 out of probably like the top 10 for sure biggest spenders there, and then the rest of the alliances had like two. But I mean, that makes a huge difference when you have, you know, level 60s that were, well, even at that time, level 39s that were just maxed. Or 40s that were just like maxed on things. Oh, I think it's about time to look for someone to raid into. And was still on. It's getting close to my bedtime. 11 SPS. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you spending some time with me. I guess I'll just do Major Samuel. The only one I see popping up in Star Trek. She looks like she's at least still alive right now. All right, have a great night. I will be live back again on Thursday, and hopefully I will either have my stuff figured out or I'll have a new computer on order, one of the two. Thanks for having a great night, and hope you all have a great day tomorrow.